happened was, here is a woman who was very lanky. She didn't have much teeth in her mouth. She was old by the time she was doing this. She didn't make age become an issue for her. I mean, she was 13 when she decided that she wanted to be free. 13 when she decided she wanted to be free. She was 70-something by the time she had liberated most people. And I'm saying to you that the biggest fuss that we have made in the revolution is that, first of all, we have to decide to reaffirm what our plans are. We make a pledge to each other. This is why at Africology we say a pledge. Because if you don't do a pledge to each other, you're not making a commitment. What are you pledging to? Who are you pledging with? How are you pledging? Enough people, they're pledging when they meet, they have 10 bottles of white rum or beer or red wine and they sit for hours to pledge. We're saying you can do your thing there. But how about pledging in a more conscious space? A pledge where when people walk away, they know that my spirit has been dealt with. Because in the African trajectory of liberation, it is first the mental liberation, it is also the spiritual liberation, but it's the physical liberation. And if you can't work on those three at the same time, you have to begin to concentrate on one. And the first one that we want is the mind. We want the mind. The liberation of the mind. If you can reaffirm in your mind that just like Harriet Tubman, you are able to decide and make a choice, then your soul guides you. They asked me one day, what makes you an African? First of all, every African is born with something called a ka and a ba. And that ka and ba is the soul. Many people have to work on it. We were born with it. And because of that vibration that we are born with, it's easy to decide whether we're doing it from the soul or we're doing it from the head. And this is why many Africans, when they hear somebody talking, they say, child, leave that one alone. Because you're not touching my ka. You're not dealing with my ba. The ra is not radiating. Are you there? So Harriet Tubman, the great soul, the great emancipator, the great revolutionary, she didn't have no education. She didn't go to no school to learn the tactics of revolution. She knew there was a cause at hand, and that cause, the Institute of Africology has been running for 3 years. Not one government entity has ever given us 100 rand. 3 years. We have run an institute and we have held a lecture every single month. Not one government entity has given us a rand. You can check the books, you'll never see it. Because we believe and we understand that the African people must establish the institute. People, they bat me for that, whatever, but I know where we are going with this. Because the day I allow anybody to pay for our liberation, we're going to have to answer questions. So if you can't take your hands and put in your pocket and liberate yourself, but I must wait for a government that obviously is not into my liberation, I must go to them to liberate me with their funds. It's a different trajectory. I know people have their issues around that. We have a lot of discussion, me and Menzi as a co-director. But I'm saying the liberation must be real. The liberation must be in a place where people feel it. You can't be going to bed every night thinking, oh, I listened to Mama, yeah. Oh, I'm feeling inspired. So what? I didn't come here to inspire you. I didn't come here to motivate you. I came here to ask you to transform your thinking. Transform your thinking. Stop reading books about liberation and become the liberator. Stop trying to quote Biko. Biko is sleeping where he is sleeping and Biko is doing well. But Biko would have liked to see his words transformed into action. So I don't quote much. People will hear me, I don't quote people. I don't. Because quoting is another lie. You get up in your university uniform, oh, I can quote so and so, so I'm a well deliverer. No. Gabi never quoted anyone. Gabi was original. The Honorable Marcus Gabi quoted himself. Make your own quotes. I say in the Zulu, make your own quotes. I mean that. The Zulu history will tell us that for the last 100 years, the Tagazela has not changed, which means there's 100 years of stunted history of the Zulu man because you have not spoken about the feats of those who are in between.
Yes.
So where are your grandfathers who were in the 70s? Where are your grandfathers who were in the, before, all where Tagazel is from Shaka's time, it's ended. So our grandchildren will never be able to form a proper line of those who are because your name will not be in that Tagazel. Which is why I'm saying, stop going into wanting to regurgitate other people's words. Write your Tagazel. Talk about your grandparents. Talk about your grandmother. Talk about your Mkabai. Create your own Harriet Tubman experience. I go into libraries and I take the books that I believe should be at Africology. And I'm not ashamed because I'm not stealing my information. I'm taking my information. That kind of liberation, people say, oh no, but you don't go into the libraries. Yes, we go to the lies. Because they are buried and then we take them from the burial. We liberate them from the burial like they did our tombs, the pyramids. The pyramids are just tombs where our ancestors lied. They lied to get rest, but yet people infiltrated the graves. And that's the kind of mentality of people who are dealing with. People who go to people's graves, take their things and put them up into museums and monuments. We don't want to follow those kinds of behavior. That vampire episode, we're not into the vampires. Robbing cradles. Until this day we're learning to rob cradles. That's why we study at universities, to learn how to regurgitate other people's information. That's what you do at universities. You go and study into lies, and then you come back and you regurgitate a lie. So we are not afraid to say when we come into these spaces, and we will not be afraid. Because we're not here to try and create a burn on the university. Why you want to burn on somebody's house? You didn't build it.
Yes, I.
You want to burn on a building that you didn't build? Go burn your own. Go build your own school. Go build your own university. And then that time you can burn. But burning something that you never built is almost a waste of your energy. Because they're going to build it anyway. It's just a waste of time. So in closing, I just want to say, if you hear the dogs, keep going. I mean that. If you see the torches in the woods, keep going. If there's someone shouting after you, because there's a lot of noise around us right now. Everybody wants the brain of the black boy, the black woman. Everybody's going after the black woman now. She's the biggest hot cake right now. You remember there was a thing called, what's that cake? That red velvet. Everybody wanted red velvet. You go to Gateway, they line up a red velvet. But the black woman in her turban is the hottest steak now. Everybody wants a piece of her. And more intense than ever, once they have her, what does that do to our black male? Is that he's not necessary. Because we have infiltrated the black woman. And once we have her on our roll call and on our payroll and on all the things, don't worry about the brothers. Don't worry about them. And so I'm asking you to keep going. Don't stop. Don't listen to the noise. If your car, if your bar tells you this is the trajectory, your mother will be collaring the whole day. Your father will be going to 10,000 sangomas. Because you are on a path of liberation, not just of yourself, but of your people. Israelite.
Thank you. That was a beautiful session. We learned a lot. The liberator, Harriet Tubman. When you hear the dogs barking, keep going. That's what is going to stick in my mind, and that's what I'm going to use. That's probably like my favorite quote today. We are opening a space for comments and what everyone thinks on today's presentation, and basically Black consciousness and Black women in Black conscious spaces. So the floor is open. You may put your hands up.
That's China.
Is it late too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very much challenged
although they say truth is very much painful, this is the truth you've been trying or you've been expressing. Let's go.
Sorry, where is the register? Because people are going to keep leaving. Can we circulate the register again? We're going to invite you.
Okay, thanks. I wish to ask on the last part of your presentation, because it's like when your child is angry because he's deprived or he feel maybe he's hungry or for whatever reason, and then you say, don't cry by kicking off or showing off or making a lot of noise, rather be silent. Is there any formula for expressing anger when one is repressed and you are at the corner or you are pushed to the edge, and unfortunately the edge is a cutting edge that I'm slowly bleeding to death? These structures, Mama Ashentawaa, they are the ones mostly made to brain drain us and to kill us. So, in other words, also the very same structures, end of the day, as you were saying it right, after I complete my degree or my master's, I'm still going to do the same, advocating the very same spirit or whatever the foundations that were built on this very same institution. For me, because I'm angry, because this is never meant to benefit me in any way somehow, because I should rely on my, can't I, or isn't it proper to really begin by destroying the very same institutions, because ours were destroyed?
Please, more questions. Can we take maybe 4 or 3 and then she can answer them in bulk?
Yeah. Noted.
Questions and comments.
Me, I'm Mandela Mdalos. I'm not going to say much. The reason why it will be like I'm repeating myself. You know, it's a pity that I came with you here, but I just want to say that I have no influence whatever you said. I'm thankful so much because sometimes even I sleep at night, I always think that maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm living in a world that does not exist. You know, each and every person, unesithunywa sakhe nedlozi lakhe limgadile. And esami isithunywa siyanqaba siyaphika ukuthi ngifunde. I thought maybe I'm stupid or I'm being lazy to read, but I always have the very same thing that why should I follow someone else? Why can that not be me? Why can I not write and let the future generations read about me? I was very impressed. I think it's 2013 if I'm not mistaken. My father in Friday sends me a matric paper and says, look, they wrote about you. Matric of 2013, they were writing about an article which I wrote. I was very impressed. And I said, this is a starting point. I even kept that paper, matric, because it's me. Who am I? Yeah. Which comes from a very poor background. So, if they have managed to do it, why couldn't I? Yes, reading is important to empower, but it should not take away your voice. That voice has been heard of the struggle of 1989 or 19 Hello. We need to hear the story and the voice of today. Yeah. We have not had students writing about the struggle they are facing today of HT's Peace Must Fall. We need our future generations to take on, but where will they learn? Because all there is what has been written in the media. There is no book or everyone who wants to write their own stories. Steve Biko said, I write what I like. He didn't say I write what Karl Marx likes. He said, I write what I like. Why can't we as young people of today write what we like? Why are we, it's like you do not have a mind to think. I used to say, think out of the box. Walk. Live in your own world, in your own space, where you critique yourself and what's happening in and around. And I think it's very important what you have told here, what you have shared to us today. That is important to build our own empire. Yes, we should not do away with the history. Let's continue to what the history have embarked on. I think I need to really Thank you, because you have healed me personally. I used to say maybe I'm crazy. And even other comrades around me say, Bandile, don't say that you do not read, you are a leader. But this is me. How can I change someone who I am for something that I'm not? Who am I fooling? Because really, if you go there and you ask about someone else, what does this person say? I don't know, because I do not know. I only know what I've said in 2014 or 15. I submit. Thank you.
Thank you. Kizu.
But ngicabanga akade ngikubheka nje mina kulama comments noma kule presentation, it's even ukuthi it seems as if there are formulas esesithandile overfollowing. But when we look at this, what you call formulas that we are following, we can see that our societies are largely dysfunctional and they are prospering, but still we want to succeed within these what you call dysfunctional systems. So if we look at the South African society, they're going to say, what you get a degree, you get an honors degree, you get a master's, you are then going to get a car, a wife, and stuff like that. It means
In that order.
Yeah, in that order. It means that you are prospering. But now you look at a lot of other things that are happening within our societies, a lot of wrong things that are happening within our societies, but our societies are not saying anything about those wrong things that are happening. It is as if those wrong things that are happening in such societies are good things. So you want to make it within a wrong formula. I'm not too sure. So I'm not too sure whether people are following what I'm saying. But my one is to say, in life, if there has to be a formula, that formula will be a no formula. Meaning, we would say, omunye nga esikoleni afunda 20 degree, mese yakwazi ukuthi through the influence of a certain professor or of a certain friend, I contributed meaningfully towards changing umhlaba. But someone ngalusi inkomo, mese yabona ukuthi no, this life is actually a mess. Let me just contribute towards making this world a better world. Omunye angahlangabezana ne-experience ethize, mese yakwazi contribute. The problem is that when izinto ezenziwa ama-preconditions ukuthi for you to be able to be a successful person in life, you have to go through these stages, you have to go through this route so that we can then take you serious in a contribution. So I was happy to actually learn what I learned about lo mama lo ohlonipheka ngayo kade usichazela ngaye. So siyabonga. I'm hoping ukuthi again perhaps kukhona amanye discussions sizofuna around this ukufunda, because I think kubalekile ukufunda. Asifundele ukuregurgitate, however sifundele ukuthi si-openishe up imqondo yethu, because ikhona lonto esiningi kakhulu le university abantu abaningi bayitshela ukuthi bayazi ngoba nakho bekwazi ukusiregurgitatela i-information ebhalwe abanye abantu akade bestudisha ama-realities. We have not only to actually regurgitate, but we also have to study realities, interpret realities, and come up with our own analysis of our realities rather than to just regurgitate. So thank you so much for this.
Hi again. This could be a bit irrelevant to the topic, but you mentioned something about Moses and him being black and all.
You said your name was?
Lakhe, L-A-K-H-E.
Lakhe, okay.
I wanted to ask, like, how did it come that there's now light-skinned Egyptians? That's my first question. And secondly, what's your opinion on the theory of skin grafting thing about Yaqub and all?
Nation of Islam.
Those are the two questions.